Welcome to this virtual tour of Nano Nagle Place as part of Cork Heritage Open Day. Nano Nagle Place has been developing over the past 250 years, and during that time many architectural styles have come in and out of vogue. In this tour, we'd like to introduce you to 4 different architectural styles you can find here. The first style is classical, the architectural style of ancient Greece and Rome, which was revived during the Renaissance and became fashionable in Ireland in the 18th and early 19th century. Classical buildings are identifiable by their use of the orders, which are, from left to right, Greek Doric, Ionic, Corinthian, Tuscan, Roman Doric and Composite. And here you see our little piece of classicism, a beautiful Roman Doric surround for our statue of the Virgin and Child. We don't know how old this statue and surround are. Here it is just before the buildings were conserved in 2014 with a different paint scheme, and this picture from the early 20th century seems to indicate that the stone is marble, or it was at least painted to look like marble. The next architectural style is Gothic, which first became popular in the area around Paris in the 12th century. Lots of features illustrated here. Rose windows, tracery and pointed arches with richly carved capitals can be found here in our chapel at Nano Nagle Place. Our chapel doesn't date from the 12th century, but from the 19th century Gothic revival. Many architects felt that Gothic was the only proper architecture for places of Christian worship. The oldest buildings on our site are Georgian. Georgian houses run in terraces or take the form of detached boxes with carefully balanced facades, elaborate doorways and tall sash windows. This dark blue building at the centre of our site was built as a detached house in 1771 by Nano Nagle to be a new convent for the Ursuline sisters who she'd invited to Cork. The Ursuline sisters thrived and soon ran out of room. They built several extensions to their convent. This pale blue building was begun in 1772 to house a chapel, infirmary and further sleeping accommodation, and the L-shaped extension to it has a date stone of 1779. We also have a grander Georgian building on the site, built by the Ursuline sisters as a larger convent in 1790. Again we see typical Georgian features, but the symmetry was somewhat thrown out when the extension was built to the south in 1820. The Presentation sisters took over the whole complex when the Ursulines moved to Blackrock in 1825. At the end of the 19th and beginning of the 20th century, a huge revolution took place in construction. The introduction of steel and reinforced concrete allowed architects to remove the structural need for walls to hold up buildings. Instead, steel and concrete frames could be built and the walls could be hung from them like a skin. The most perfectly modernist building on our site is the cafe. Here there are curtain walls of glass and a cantilever roof is supported by steel columns inside the cafe. The effect is not only that the roof appears to be floating on a wall of glass, but also that when inside there are unimpeded views of the garden and city landscape beyond.